All right, I will call to order this special meeting of the Bloomington Board of Park Commissioners. And Kim, can we start with the roll call, please?
Kathleen Mills.
Here.
Ellen Rodkey. Here. Jim Whitlatch.
Here.
And Israel is absent.
Okay, Israel is absent. We do have a quorum. So we'll start with a general public comment period. If there's anyone here present who would like to make a comment, or also on the Facebook Live. We'll wait just a second and see if there's anyone there.
If anyone on Zoom would like to make a comment, if they would use their raised hand icon, I will call on them. And there are no raised hands right now.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, and then the main purpose of our special meeting is to hopefully finalize our bond process here. So, yes. Yes, so I need to read the, yeah. Oh, right, additional public comment on that as well. So then in B2, we have additional opportunity for public comment on confirming Declaratory Resolution 22-03 titled Resolution of the Board of Park Commissioners of the City of Bloomington authorizing issuance of bonds to finance certain park projects and incidental expenses in connection therewith and on account of the issuance of the bonds, appropriating the proceeds thereof, modifying and confirming a declaratory resolution, and approving related matters. Paula, do you have any?
Well, at this point,
this is the public comment first on this, on the bond.
If there's anyone here that would like to make a public comment on the bond, or you're saying,
Or if anyone wants to raise their hand. And there are no raised hands.
Okay. All right. Seeing no public comment on the bond issuance, then we'll move into section C. C1 is the review of confirming Declaratory Resolution 2203, resolution of the Board of Park Commissioners of the City of Bloomington, authorizing issuance of bonds to finance certain park projects and incidental expenses in connection therewith and on account of the issuance of the bonds, appropriating the proceeds thereof, modifying and confirming a declaratory resolution, and approving related matters. Paula?
all right?
Yes.
Thank you. Paula McDevitt, Director, City of Bloomington Parks and Recreation Department. And we are here this afternoon to recommend that after the Board of Park Commissioners received public comment at the legally advertised public hearing back on April 26th, and then any additional public comment that would have been received here at today's meeting, it is recommended that you approve the final adopt the final bond resolution 2203 to authorize the issuance of park district bonds in order to promote climate change and implement equity and quality of life for all. And we have two guests here, staff members here this afternoon, that will briefly highlight the projects that they are also found on the on my staff report in the order of projects that are part of the bond package. So I would like to turn it over first to Tim Street, Operations Development Director for City of Bloomington, and we have a presentation to go along with this.
I'll just say advance.
Well,
How about that?
let me move the first one and then see if it works.
Okay.
Now try.
It is not. That's okay. There's only a handful of slides, so we can just say next slide. Good afternoon. Tim Street, Operations Director for Bloomington Parks. With me here is Beth. I'll let her introduce herself in a moment. We are just going to briefly go through the final 5 projects in priority order of how they were presented by council and approved by council. Given that you've heard about these before at our initial meeting and then again at our last one, we plan to keep the overviews brief, but then of course are available for questions. And I know Andrew Seibor is here as well, the city engineer, if there's any specific questions we need to get into. The first project, Kim, if you go to the next slide, is to replace the missing section of Rogers Street sidewalk along the east side of Rogers Street. near Switchyard Park. Estimated cost is about $200,000. Next slide.
Next, I'm Beth Rosenbarger, Assistant Director of Planning and Transportation Department. The next project is along West 2nd Street. It includes building a protected bike lane from Walker traveling east to the B line. It also includes signal replacements, and the money requested $1.5 million is matching federal funding that is going to be used to fund this project as well. Next slide, please. The North Dunn Street multi-use path project is to design a multi-use path along mostly the east side of Dunn Street, also I guess to be determined, but going from the bypass north to Old State Road 37, the estimated cost being $800,000 to $960,000 for the design, and the intent being looking for other money that may come available for grants for construction. Next slide, please. And the East Covenanter Protected Bike Lane project is on East Covenanter and goes from College Mall Road to Clarice Boulevard. And this project would install, design, and build protected bike lanes, some sidewalk improvements and accessibility improvements, and bus stop improvements, and that is estimated at $2.4 to $2.88 million. Next slide.
And the last project is the Griffy Loop Dam Crossing. This is money to fund the dam crossing of the Griffy Loop Trail that was removed from the project as it was approved in September due to value engineering. Will help us complete the Griffy Loop on the west side, which again, this map is looking south, so south is up, so the dam is over there on the right side. It will complete that yellow section and formalize the crossing of the dam and create a new community access point. So Kim, if you would maybe end on the slide, that's the table. That's the one that shows them with the amounts and in the order that they were proposed. And we'll be happy to answer any questions.
And I would just also like to remind everyone of the process. So you all sort of bookend and kicked off this process several weeks ago, and then it went to the City Council for initial reading and then final approval of this project list. Was approved by City Council on April 20th of this year. So you are the final piece of the process in approving this bond. And also joining us on Zoom is Jeff Underwood, City Controller, and then also Bond Counsel, if you have any specific questions related to the areas that they cover.
Okay, are there any questions for Tim?
What's the total amount that's available from the bond?
Not to exceed 5.8 million.
Not to exceed
Right.
5.8.
Mhm.
So if the projects go over that, we'll have to prioritize because I noticed the upper end of that was 5.9.
Jeff, do you want to explain that process?
I think I heard my name, so Jeff Underwood, City Controller. Yes, the City Council, as they approve these, put them in a priority order. So essentially, we'll start from the top of that priority and work down, and then as funds, become available, we anticipate that we'll issue a little over $5 million in the bonds. We won't do the full 5.8. That's kind of a maximum, but it'll be ensured that we get $5 million in project costs dollars, and then the additional bonding will be to cover issuance costs. So we'll probably be closer to the $5.3 million. And the council is well aware that if we go down and there aren't enough funds available for all the projects, that we'll stop at a point where we're comfortable with funding the ones that we've started, and then any remaining funds would be rolled over to the next issue. And just as a reminder, we plan to come back. These are 5-year bonds, and then we would come back 2 more times over the next 11 years and authorize that, and obviously pick back up with the priority list, so to speak. If for some reason the actual bids come in less, then we'll work all the way down through the list And again, if there were any funds after we completed all of the projects, we would roll that back in to the next set of projects.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any other questions for Jeff or for Tim?
Not for me.
Okay.
Nor me.
Nope. All right. Thank you, Tim, for the recap of that. All right. And then are we ready
Take a
to
motion.
vote?
Mhm.
Motion and then, yeah. Okay.
Move that we approve.
I'll second.
All right. And all those in favor, I suppose I probably should I read this again?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. All those in favor of confirming Declaratory Resolution 2203, titled Resolution of the Board of Park Commissioners of the City of Bloomington authorizing issuance of bonds to finance certain park projects and incidental expenses in connection therewith and on account of the issuance of the bonds, appropriating the proceeds thereof, modifying and confirming a declaratory resolution, and approving related matters. So all those in favor, and a roll call vote, please, Kim?
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
All right, motion unanimously carried. All right, and yes, a little anticlimactic to go
Yeah.
on to addendum to.
Oh, but it's related to a really exciting project,
Yes, it
so.
is, right, okay, all right. And then our second item then is, Tim, to tell us about an addendum with E&B Paving for the Griffy Lake Loop Trail project.
Yes, thank you. Tim Street, again, Operations Director with the Parks Department. Just have one brief addendum to hear this evening. Recommend approval of a contract addendum with E&B Paving for the Griffy Loop Trail and Accessible Fishing Pier project in the amount of $116,000. This is at the request of and at the expense of Public Works and Engineering. They had been looking at a separate guardrail project for the east side of Griffy. That was packaged with a bunch of different guardrail throughout the city. That bid did not turn out. They approached us to say, hey, could we include this east guardrail in the end of the Griffy project that is currently going through E&B. So we asked E&B for an amount of what that would take. They provided that, and they were happy with that amount. Public Works can provide that level of funding, and so this change order is to approve that guardrail to go in at the end of the project, which is coming up quickly. Happy to answer any questions.
So the money's coming from the Works Department, but because it's on our contract, we're gonna amend that, add an addendum to it to add it to our project, but we'll get the money from the City Works Department.
Correct. Exactly.
Makes sense to me.
Okay, all right, sounds good. We have a
Make a motion to approve that addendum?
Second.
All right, and a roll call vote, please.
Kathleen Mills,
Aye.
Ellen Rodkey,
Aye.
Jim Whitlatch.
Aye.
All right, motion unanimously carried. All right, thank you, Tim.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Beth. Yes. Is there anything else we should know, Paula? or-
No, just thank you for your time coming in for this special board meeting, and Kim has the document for signature before you leave, so.
Okay.
And then we are working on our May 24th agenda. It's that time of year, we're busy, so you can stay tuned for a very full agenda, May
Okay.
24th.
All right, thank you. And with that, I'll adjourn this special meeting of the Bloomington Board of Park Commissioners.
Thank you.